and Dr. Baker said, Stuart, they had me do a stress test, x-ray and whatever, and determined that at 100% 295 blockages. So right in the middle of the day, I mean, it caught me off guard. What do I do? They had me prepared here and got me over to Burlington. I guess they did the surgery at the time.
Open heart.
I was there 9 days and then came back here. So then when it was time for the therapy to be done, it's a great experience. Boring, but very good experience. I did that for 12 weeks. Dr. Baker retired, and Dr. Wolkowitz took over. I told him that's who I wanted, because he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. He hits everything right on the head, and he's taken care of us ever since. I feel great. I mean, I haven't stopped doing anything. I mow my lawn in the season. I'm always puttering around the house. I work every day, and then when I've got, am down, I got nothing to do, I can work as much time as I want as a volunteer at the hospital, running meds and picking up papers and discharging people, and I really enjoy, because I love to talk. And I see a lot of people that I know, doctors and friends and whatever, and I feel great. I mean, I take my meds regularly. I'm very impatient. I need to get things done, and that's true, came true, but that my energy is way, way up, and it is. And I'm on the go all the time.
The years go by, and a few years ago, maybe 12, 13 years ago, I was teaching at Saranac, and I kind of dropped in the classroom. I didn't know what happened. All I know is that I saw silver everywhere, and my students were standing by me, didn't know what happened. I had fainted, and they didn't know what was wrong, so they sent me to the hospital, and Dr. Baker decided that he needed to go in there and check my heart, my arteries. He says, well, we think you need a pacemaker to be able to monitor your heart and make sure that that doesn't happen when you're driving to work. And I said, if that's what has to be done, that's what it has to be done. So he put in the first pacemaker, which was about 12, 13 years ago, maybe 14, I don't know. At one time, I remember we were socializing, and he saw the scar that I had, and he apologized for the scar. And I said, oh my God, thank God for you, because you saved my life, don't worry about the scar. That's something that I'm proud of, that I was able to get a pacemaker and survive, because my mother wasn't so lucky after so many years. I decided to go on a long trip. I went to Jerusalem, Israel, with my sister. And I went to Israel the first time 51 years ago. And of course, I wanted to go with her, especially Jerusalem, because she lived there and she has a lot of friends and she knows the city. And I hadn't been at the doctor's for about a year and a half. I kind of forgot about the appointment, and I kind of fell through the cracks, and I didn't follow up the way I was supposed to, and it was all my fault. I knew that. I mean, they weren't too happy with me when I finally came in. But a week before I went on the trip, I said, I wasn't feeling that great. Let me check and see what's going on. I don't have the energy. So I went in there, and the technician that checked me, he says, you're not going anywhere. Your pacemaker is not functioning very well. I said, oh, wonderful. So Dr. Wolkowitz came in and evaluated me, and I said, I have to go to Israel next Monday. I said, this is the trip of a lifetime. I haven't been there. My sister invited me. I'm leaving. And he said, we need to change your pacemaker. It's not working, and you don't know when it stopped. There is like a period of 6 months that it allows you to function until it finally, and they don't know when it started not working, because I hadn't been there in over a year. So I said, okay, let's do it. Monday morning, that was Friday. I said, let's do it Monday morning, because in another week, I'm leaving, or on Sunday, following Sunday, I'm leaving. And he put the pacemaker in there, and he checked me again on Thursday, make sure everything is okay. And I think I went maybe twice before that during the week to make sure that everything was working fine. The second pacemaker was a different name brand, so it was a little bit bigger. So I mean, he put, I'm sure, the best that is available. And I joke with him about, how often am I going to have to change this in the next 50 years? He says, as many times as you need to, because I expect to live to, another 50 years. He said he has had patients that had been having pacemakers from the time they were very young. I wasn't that young when I first got the first one. And it was not a big deal. And by next Monday or Sunday, I flew from Montreal to New York to Jerusalem. I met my sister in New York, and we went to Jerusalem. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I wasn't feeling sick. I wasn't feeling like I couldn't do anything. And we went and did whatever we wanted, It was the most amazing soul awakening, for me. And I am very thankful because Dr. Wolkowitz made sure that I was able to go. Bowled me out. He told me I have to come in every 6 months and not to let it go, for a year or more, that I have to be conscientious. And I remember he was not very happy with me, and I said, I promise I'll be coming every 6 months.
I think we're very lucky and very fortunate to have a really top-notch cardiology department and all facets of the hospital as that goes.
We've lived in Plattsburgh 49 years. I came as a bride from Colombia. We were married, and then I came to Plattsburgh in 1965, January of 65. We raised 3 daughters here. We love this community, 7 grandchildren from 25 to 4 months. So we're looking forward to continuing. And I still work at Saranac. I substitute. I love to go in there and work with the kids.
And we're very proud to, mention the name CVPH. And I enjoy what little I do 2 or 3 times a week as a volunteer of giving back to the community and to the hospital for what they have done for me and for the community. It's very special.
While we're proud of our quality of care, we know it's more about quality of life. The CVPH Heart Center.